Welcome to the Points Taken Podcast. It's episode 23 for Thursday, November 16th, 2023. My name is James Keeley. With me, as always, is Sammy Schaefer. How are you, Sammy?
Good. How about you, James?
So, you just asked me something. I asked you if you saw, because we said the microphone, I said, looks like the Ed 209, top of it. And you said you hadn't seen it in a while.
I was a kid when I saw RoboCop.
And I said, don't you remember anything about it? Because it was like a good movie. And then you said, well, go ahead, tell the audience.
Weren't they like feeding the meatballs or something?
Weren't they feeding RoboCop meatballs?
I don't remember. There was just a scene. I thought they were like spooning something in his mouth. I don't know. I was a kid when I watched it.
I'm going to feel stupid if I'm wrong, but I'd bet a good amount of money that there was no scene.
He was a cop, or he was a robot, so maybe not.
And that's like the first thing you go with. It wasn't like, oh my God, remember when he got shot up and all of his body parts were gone, and then they turned him into a cyborg?
That scene stuck in my head because I remember it being like obscene, like not in a bad way, just like it didn't make sense to me. So I either made it up, or it's just such a bad scene it didn't belong in the movie that you forgot about it.
Feeding him meatballs. If anybody knows, if anybody can confirm that, you're getting a parlay, a very valuable one. All right, we're gonna start the show here. Reminder, we take underdogs, overs, and props. Follow us on YouTube, of course, and comment. X at Points Ticket Pod, and Instagram. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, I can't get over this. Meatballs. Sammy, what's on the show?
We have spicy game day food, dark documentaries, and our second to last guest picker.
It's almost over. Start the show. So, during the intro, we Googled RoboCop meatball scene.
Nothing.
No, I think we saved that parlay. First of all, he's a robot. He would be eating batteries.
Hey, he's not all robot.
He's not all robot, but he's half Alex Murphy, who's an Irishman. He'd be eating crisp or potatoes, shepherd's pie, something Irish and gross, or just drinking.
just beer.
Pulling his gun on people. Hey, RoboCop! You're just looking at me. What are you looking at? Yeah. Yeah. RoboCop wouldn't put up with that for 1 second.
Nope.
If he had a little Jameson in him. Yeah, not the Jameson drinks we had.
No.
Those are still the worst game day drinks we had. Yeah. Let's talk episode 22, recapping some new stuff.
Yep.
I got a call today.
Yeah.
Said, you and Sammy watch your mouth for insulting John Cusack. Yeah.
I don't feel bad.
I will not apologize.
Here is a very unpopular opinion, but I like his sister better.
Joan?
I think she's a better actress.
Problem with Joan. I don't mind John Cusack's work.
Yeah.
I thought he was pretty good in a few things.
Yeah.
But he's always been like famous since he was like a kid. His dad was in the movies, his family was in the movies. So he doesn't, again, he's like Sean Penn. He does not get to tell me how to form my opinions, live my life. It's funny because I would go into bars and I would go into other hotels and stuff and talk to people, and it'd be like, I wanted to hear the dirt. It'd be like, what celebrities came in here, blah blah blah. And every time somebody said Cusack was in here, I go like, how was he? They're like, dick.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
always like not nice to people.
Yeah.
So it doesn't take a lot just to be nice. And these were like not, these were like dive bars and stuff too, like places.
You just keep your head down, tip, you're good.
Yeah, where you like belly up to the bar and you're friendly, or you go home. Like I'm sure, like why do you go out to be a jerk to somebody?
Yeah.
I'm sure celebrities get like a lot of wacko fans, but hey, it's part of the it's part of the gig.
Yeah.
It's like I don't like this attention now. My face is on billboards. It has to be on my terms.
And I'm gonna keep making movies, but I'm still gonna get mad when people recognize me.
Yeah, so one of my Cubs fan friends, Mr. Joe, says like, "Oh, Cusack's cool, man. He's a Cubs fan." Now, he's not. Just because you're a Cubs fan doesn't make like. There's a lot of celebrities that I like their work. Not a fan of. I wouldn't enjoy hanging out with him. Tom Morello from Rage Against the Machine, one of my favorite bands ever.
Oh yeah, he's amazing.
But he's a commie. I wouldn't. And a fraud.
I mean, I saw him live, and it was amazing how talented he is. But you're right, I'm okay.
He wears a hat that says commie. He's one of the biggest capitalists I've ever seen in my life. Went to Harvard. Full of it. Eddie Vedder's another one. Top 3 bands, favorite of mine. It's like Zeppelin, Tool, and Pearl Jam are right there, right? But he seems like he'd give me a little bit of an attitude, too. Yeah. Jim Belushi, another Cubs fan.
Is he a jerk?
I met him at Second City once after a show.
Okay.
He came up and did, how they, after some of the shows, they have celebrities come out and they do some improv sets and everything. He's there. I'm with this girl from Alabama, and she's like, "Oh my God, that's Jim Belushi," and she's like blown away. Mm-hmm. And you and I were at Second City, so we saw a lot of like cool people coming in and out of there.
Yeah.
But she was like, "Could I get a picture with him? This would be cool." So I was like, "Hey, Mr. Belushi, is there any way she could get a picture with you real quick?" It was just me, her, and him. Mm-hmm. He goes, "I won't take a picture, but I'll shake your hand." Mm. And shakes my hand and walks away. I'm like, dude, it's not like there was a line. It's not like this is the 80s.
He's not the most popular person.
No.
In general, I mean, not even talking about his brother, just in general.
Yeah.
He's not the most popular person. You'd think he would be happy with that, but I don't know. I guess he was around his brother so much, real fame, that he just kind of got over it.
I wasn't like stopping him as he was like going into the bathroom or something. He was like hanging out looking for somebody to like notice him.
Just for him to be a jerk.
How about a picture for this, this girl from the South? And he's like, me and my germophobia, I don't like shaking hands. Yeah. I'm sure his hand isn't as clean as mine. I know what men do with their hands. There's not one thing that's good, and shaking is like the easiest of them. Bill Murray, wouldn't want to hang out with him.
I've heard bad things about him.
I know. We keep bringing that back up.
He's just, and I love a lot of documentaries about Second City and Saturday Night getting started, but they're all bad about him off screen.
Yeah, he's got a real dark side, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
Stephen Colbert, another Second City guy.
Yeah.
Turned into a wacko.
He's so funny. He's so talented.
And then he does a show, and he's, the vaccine song that he did to the tune of Tequila was so cringy. I
hate when they take that clout and they start shoving their opinions down your throat. You can have an opinion, but like don't make a show about it.
Don't be a stooge for Pfizer.
Yeah. Right.
I don't think we're going to get a Pfizer sponsorship anytime soon.
No.
Got a real beef with you. Pfizer. Stop making your life-saving drugs. They do. They make life-saving drugs. And then they make things that maybe they need to get rid of, and they market too much. So, Vince Vaughn I would hang out with.
Yeah.
He's a Cubs fan.
Yeah. He was here in Chicago for a while.
Yeah.
Did he go to Second City, I think?
Did he go to?
I think he went to I.O. I think he did I.O. or something.
I don't think he did I.O. I think the other one from Swingers did I.O.
Oh, is that what it was? Okay.
Yeah. He did I.O. for sure. What's his face? I can't even think of his name right now. America.
Yeah.
Nick Offerman from Parks and Recreation. He seems all right. Mm-hmm. Jeff Carlin. He's always at Cubs game. He seems like a nice guy. I don't particularly like his stand-up. And then here's one, because she's from Park Ridge. They're like, Hillary Clinton's a Cubs fan. Yeah, like she cares about the Cubs. No. Here's her watching 2 seconds of a Cubs game just to get a picture at a Cubs game. That's her.
Even when they're winning the championship, yeah.
Yeah, not a pleasant fan, I don't think. That's somebody who also wouldn't be fun to hang out with. Takes herself a smidge too seriously.
And I'd be too scared to say anything that she'd get offended by, and I wouldn't make it home.
I wouldn't want to hang out with any politician. They all seem robotic. They all seem weird. Mm-hmm. So we're not being partisan. We're not being we're not taking sides here. But I would say I would not want to hang out with her. People are a little shocked about your lack of some of the videos that David Fincher directed. Vogue?
Yeah. I mean, I just wasn't a huge fan of her.
How does Sammy not know? I know, but
I knew the song. I forgot who sang. I forgot Madonna sang it for a brief second.
The trivia. You're not killing it with the trivia. Do you want to go to a trivia night with me?
I will, but I'll be the anchor.
Will you play on the other team? Yeah. Because that would help my cause a lot. Will you be a ringer?
But that'll be the night all Mel Brooks movies, though, and you'll be in trouble.
Then I might. We'll go if we find your exact thing. Then I went down a Trent Reznor rabbit hole because we were talking about him in the last episode. Because I stumped you on the who is this nerd from high school that turned out to be kind of a big deal in the music world.
Yeah.
But he had an article in, I think it was 2017. He said, "Parent night at school is awkward." It's gotta be. The kids that went to school with him, they were like, "Yeah, Trent's cool, man. Kind of a quiet guy. Played the saxophone and stuff." And then the Closer video,
yeah,
and the song, I was blown away by that.
Mm-hmm.
I was blown away by that. I'm like, this guy, this takes some nerve to get this out. Where are these pictures though? We listen to some metal and some stuff like that, and to get dirty words and dirty content on there is okay, but look at this, that's the video.
Yeah.
Here's another one. You know, that just to me like, where is it? There we go. Yeah,
It was there. There you go.
I'm good at technology. Like that. Yeah. That to me, that's like when I'm like, what are you doing this week? And you're like, oh, not much. And that's your Saturday night.
That's my night.
Just like it's a really easy night, and that's the scene. That's a Sammy Saturday night special, like a real chill night. But yeah,
I'm glad me and him had that in common.
right.
And that's it.
He has 5 kids now.
Oh, nice.
Trent Reznor's 58 years old. He's only released 3 names of the kids. The first one is Lazarus Echo Reznor.
Wow.
Balthazar Venn.
Just I feel like it's a half a name.
Yeah.
Ven, you know, like
Venn, well, like, I guess it's after the diagram. I don't know.
That's what I mean. Like there should be more to Ven.
Mm-hmm. And then Nova Lux is one of the girls, and then the 2 others he does not name.
They're that bad. You couldn't really.
I doubt it's like Barney and Margaret though. After Nova Lux and Balthazar Venn, but he scored the animated Pixar film Soul, 2020. My kids watched that. I think I watched some of it.
I remember the previews for it. He was part of that.
Yeah, he scored it. Won a Golden Globe and
Wow.
an Oscar for it.
Good for him.
But it's crazy. The guy that's saying I want to feel like an animal
Yeah.
gets like a Pixar film. But
It's
they're
doing
all
kids movies.
yeah. And that's like he's the worst. He's the least of their problems in Hollywood. They're like, get that guy. He's one of the good ones.
Yeah, maybe they'll take the heat off of us.
The animal. But yeah, I worked security for a Nine Inch Nail show
Nice.
in Miami. Perfect Circle opened up. It was so good.
Oh, that'd been a great concert.
But I stood next to Trent. Not a tall fella. Not a
Really?
big fella. Oh my God, he's
one of
probably
those you just imagine
5'5".
he's 6'5" or something like that.
Yeah, because he's got that big voice and he's got that presence. I stood next to a real tiny fella.
Wow.
But yeah, didn't talk to him or anything. But work security. They're like, you need to go in the 300 section and check tickets. And I'm like, who's gonna sneak into the worst section? So I checked about 3 tickets and then watched the entire concert.
Yeah. Right.
I turned around every like once in a while, and it was just a bunch of guys, you know, and a couple of girls watching the show, no problems. So I was leaning over the thing. I mean, I made money watching that show. It
Nice.
wasn't a lot of money.
Still, you got paid to be there.
Yeah, they're like, let's send him up there and keep him out of the way. If we need him to like break up a knife fight, maybe we'll bring him down and get him stabbed for us for $12 an hour. So, but yeah, good episode last time, and I got my hair cut. I'm looking tight.
Nice, looking professional.
Looking tight. Went in there. Went to Sport Clips. Went in there. The woman, she calls me Jamez.
Yamez.
It's James on the board.
Yeah.
She goes, Jamez, come here, baby, come here. I have no idea where she's from.
Yeah.
I presume like the most popular song in her country is like something that sounds like an old lady getting like physical therapy on her wrist or something.
Yeah.
Like with a background of like sitar music and finger cymbals, like, and that kind of music. But she goes, baby, so thin, and I've been watching my weight a little bit, so I'm like, thank you, I've been working out. She goes, no, your hair. She's done this to me.
Just brings you up and then just trashes you.
I kind of forget because she's cut my hair several times, and this is her tactic to shame me in saying you have thin hair. You need to buy this like miracle shampoo we sell at
Oh.
Sport Clips.
Yeah.
And I did buy it once, and they're like full head of hair. And I'm like, really? I am so ashamed of my stupidity. I bought it from this one girl who totally suckered me in. She's like, my dad had hair just like you. You wouldn't believe it. He's like a lion now. Got a lion. Everybody makes fun of him because his hair is so thick and lustrous.
And you felt
I'm like, serious? Do you have any magic beans too?
get lying.
At Sports Clips? What a
Like,
rube.
at least, live it sounds real. Like, yeah, it looked like pubes, but at least it grew back.
Yeah.
I believe that.
Baby, so thin. I'm like, thank you. I've been watching my carbs. No, Baldy. Your stupid hair.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So, took the steam right out of my sails. But whatever. Doing what I can. I told my family, I'm like, I'm just going to shave my head. And they're like, no. And I'm like, why not? The Rock shaves his head, like to my kids. And even my 5-year-old was like, you're not The Rock. I'm like, Jesus.
You're not wrong, but
They're like,
seriously.
you're gonna look terrible. He looks good.
Yeah.
You're gonna look. He eats salmon and lifts weights 5 times a day.
You gotta, if you shave it though, you gotta grow back the Santa beard and just really go all out.
Yeah. I guess this is as good as it gets. Whatever. As long as my lady don't complain,
There you go.
I guess I should just shut up. Looking in a camera and seeing my face twice a week has not been good.
It's definitely
It's good because you're like, all right, put that down. But you don't need another bagel.
definitely humbles me a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm going up, man. I'm looking good tonight, and then I see myself on camera, like, oh no.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Yep. It's like locking the fridge. All right, let's talk some football, baby. College football picks.
Week 12 of college football.
Sammy, let's mix it up. I got something new for you. Do you
Okay.
have any idea what a 10-point super teaser is?
No.
All right.
I was gonna try to figure it out, but
Okay.
super teaser, no.
You know what a teaser is? It's basically a teaser. Okay? It's just 10 points is a lot. So, with the margins so high and everything, I said, hey, let's show the folks what it's like to win a 10-point super teaser, clearly. So, we took 3 games. We got the over in the North Carolina Clemson game at 48, over in the Kentucky South Carolina game at 45, and the over in Utah at Arizona at 35.5. The original lines were 10 points higher. So we
Oh.
got them at 48, 45, and 35.5. That's got to win, right?
Yeah.
Unless you get some team that comes out totally flat. So that's what we're going to do first. That's
Got
the
it.
easy one.
Okay.
That, I mean, everybody, you're stealing money. Who knows? But all it is, it's 120 to win 100.
Yeah,
So you're
okay.
just betting. It's not 10-cent juice. It's 20, and you get all those teams that you have to sweat and be miserable over.
Good.
What is the next like regular game now?
All right, we got Georgia at Tennessee. Tennessee's plus 10.5. And then I got a total here.
59.5.
59.5. Okay, good.
So Georgia's back at number 1, rightfully. They are way better than Ohio State, in my humble opinion.
Okay.
A win would move them into a tie for the longest winning streak in SEC history. It would be 28 consecutive games they won.
Wow.
28 in a row.
Wow.
That is a major accomplishment. There's only 2 other teams that have done it, and they were both Alabama.
Nice.
No big deal.
This little smug smile there.
So I'm kind of hoping they don't win. And as much as I hate Tennessee, kind of hoping they don't win. But what do we take?
We got Georgia team total over 34.5.
Yeah, I mean the total's 59.5. Tennessee has just been very disappointing. They were 11-2 last year, and now they're 7-3. They haven't beat anybody really impressive. They got whooped by Missouri last week, whooped by Bama and Tuscaloosa, and they went down to the Swamp and got whooped. And they haven't really. They beat one good team at home with Texas A&M that just gave their coach $76 million to leave, to not be their coach anymore.
Wow.
Yeah, they bought him out. They said $76 million and you get to go home
I love that deal.
because he was that inept at coaching their team. Yeah. So Georgia team total over 34.5. Let's do that. What's next?
All right, next is number 5, Washington at number 11, Oregon State.
Yeah, that's a night game. Washington is undefeated still. This has all the makings of a sucker bet. All right, what's the line?
It's Washington plus 3, and it's got a total of 63.5.
Yeah, I mean, Washington should be favored. They're undefeated. They're number 5. I know they're at Oregon State, but what are we taking?
We're taking Washington plus 3.
Of course we are.
yeah.
Just spread it on. I'm not gonna be like, oh, that's a sucker bet. You got to go the other way. When my instincts are like, just pound Washington. This line went from 2.5 to 3, back to 2.5. We got it at 3. If you got to buy it up, buy it up. The three is a good magic number. Michael Penix for Washington, the quarterback's playing great. He's kind of been all over the place. Rome Odunze is fantastic. They're wide receiver. They're both first-round picks. They're going to be high picks. I just think they're going to get it done. Oregon State has had a pretty surprisingly great year, but DJ Uiagalelei, I should have got you to try to pronounce
I would have
that.
never gotten that.
Uiagalelei.
Wow.
Yeah, he's a Clemson transfer quarterback. He's had a good year, but he's nowhere near Penix. Penix is way better. I'm betting on the better team with a better quarterback. All right. And then what is the last one?
Last one is Georgia State at number 15, LSU. Georgia State is plus 31.5 with a total of 71.5.
We're Georgia State. Why are we doing that? Because we're getting crazy.
Yeah.
It's coming to the end of college football season, and here's what's going on. LSU is trying to get their quarterback Jaden Daniels to win this Heisman. All right, he's second in the odds right now. He's getting plus 320 on DraftKings. So you bet 100, you get 320. And it's just behind Bo Nix. So I just think he's going to have a huge game here. The team hangs a big number. It's a night game for a weak opponent. So what are we going to take?
I'm taking LSU team total over 50.5.
Yeah, it's a crazy number. 50.5 is a lot of points. But it's Georgia State. They've given up like 44 to like... So I really like this game. And it's 50.5. The only problem is they could go up like 35, 3 at half and just like kind of phone it in.
Yeah.
Maybe get 42 or something. I think this goes way 50s, maybe into the 60s.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a lot. That's it on here, but we'll check us on X at Points Taken Pod. Saturday and Sunday, we'll also put some reels on Instagram.
Nice.
And other games I'm looking at, what do we got here?
We got Texas at Iowa State's got an over 47.5.
Oh, that's calling me.
Oh, yeah, nice.
It's a low line. The last time that's the last 8 games,
Yeah.
the over is 0-8.
Wow,
It
really?
always goes under. And I'm like, not this time, which is probably what I've said the last like 5 years. Oh, it's 0-3, so it's got to hit this time. Oh, it's 0-4, so it's got to hit this time. Yeah.
0-8.
A misery.
Got to hit this time.
It'll be like 0-17. I'd be like, well, it's not going to go.
I wanna
We
see-
all know that.
I want to see you on a roulette table.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, with a couple of cocktails. I mean, that's a good one. I'm out of money, please. Is there a Western Union near? What's the next one?
Gators at Missouri. The over is 58.5.
Yeah, that also is a night game. Might be happening. Gators can't stop anybody. Missouri puts up a lot of points. Missouri, they can tend to get into shootouts too. Both are late kicks, yeah. And then there's an early game, number 10 Louisville, minus 1.5 at I got to figure that one out.
Okay.
That also looks like a sucker bet. But we'll see how it goes. We'll post more and check us out on X. All right, what's next? NFL picks. You remember that scene in the Terminator when they were just feeding him calzones?
I'm never going to learn the end of that.
I can't wait to like think of more Italian
I
dishes.
just, I said that off screen, hoping no one would ever hear that, and now it's on blast. Now it's on YouTube, and everyone will always remember
I
that.
remember like Ellen Ripley was just giving Xenomorph the lasagna, sprinkling cheese on it, and she's like, ugh, you and I aren't going to get along later. Meatballs or RoboCop. What do we got, Sam?
All right, NFL Week 11 picks. First up is Bengals at Ravens. It's a Thursday night football game. Bengals plus 3.5 with a total of 46.
Yeah, the total got down to 43.5, and I loved it, and I didn't take it. Then it shot up to 46. I still like it. Both teams had disappointing losses last week, as we know of from our Moneyline parlay. It was disastrous. But they're both in the hunt for the AFC North title. The Ravens are right up there at 7-3. They should be 8-2. And the Bengals are 5-4, should be 6-3. So what are we taking?
We're taking the total at 46.
Yeah. I still like it. So let's try to make it easy. Hoping for a shootout. Thursday night football has been pretty solid for us. So
Yeah.
For the PTP, what do we got next?
Next is Bears at Lions. The Bears are plus 8.5 with a total of 47.
Yeah, remember when I said I'm done with the Bears bets?
I was really surprised to see that one made the show.
I didn't know this is a tricky one this week. Like some tricky games in college and NFL.
Yeah.
But I'm like, you know what? I know what I'm doing. I almost have an even record. So I'm going crazy. Justin Fields is going to play for the Bears.
Okay.
And here's my theory. They're going to try to air it out a little bit. They are potentially looking at the number 1 pick again.
Okay.
And it's going to be hard to pass on some of these quarterbacks. Caleb Williams is coming out from USC. Drake May is coming out from UNC. You got to figure out if Fields is a guy. If he is the guy, do you trade the pick or do you use the number 1 pick to draft like Marvin Harrison Jr. and just have an absolute stud wide receiver in there? Another Ohio State guy. So what are we taking?
We're taking the total at 47.
Yeah, I can't take the Bears plus 8.5. I just can't.
It's not going to happen.
Lions are putting up some major points too. So I think we'll see some points there.
Well, definitely some Lions points. The Bears, we'll see.
Yeah, the Bears I think will do what they do to torture their fans, where they'll get close, and then the Lions will just pull away at the end. You'll spend 2 hours and 50 minutes watching the game with like a little hope, and then at the end, just a pick six, and then the next play a fumble, and then it's horrible. And what's the last game?
Eagles at Chiefs. It's Monday Night Football. The Eagles are plus 3 with a total of 45.5.
Super Bowl rematch. Chiefs won the Super Bowl 38-35 in a very fun Super Bowl. It's a repeat of the Kelsey Bowl.
That's true.
So, Tay-Tay will be there because their love is real, and this is not a big publicity stunt. I think the Eagles are pissed and going to take it out on the Chiefs,
Okay.
who looked bad offensively versus the Finns in Germany. Both teams are coming off a bye because they wanted this matchup, plus the Taylor Swift storyline they contrived. What are we taking?
We're taking the Eagles +3.
Yeah, I like the Eagles outright.
Yeah.
I think they win, and I think they win convincingly. But we're going to take those 3 points. It's a nice number. All right, other games I'm looking at. What do we got?
Chargers at Packers. Chargers team total over 23.5.
Yeah, we'll see if we're gonna look into these games a little bit more and put them on X. I also want to see if there's some passing props. I think the defenses are getting kind of worn down, and I think some offenses are lighting it up. So keep an eye on that, and keep an eye on Instagram for this. But Chargers, they're another team like the Ravens that are finding ways to lose. Their head coach Brandon Staley's on thin ice, man. He's got a record of 23-20, one playoff appearance and no wins. It was that massive collapse to the Jags last year in the wild card round of the playoffs. They were up 27-7 at halftime and lost 31-30.
Wow.
They scored 3 points in the second half, and they let them score 24. Ugh.
That is horrifying.
Yeah, that was rough for that organization. And, they love that Herbert, and Herbert can play, but he just doesn't find a way to win all that much. I think he's really talented. I just don't know. Sometimes you just don't have it. I don't know if it's a coach. I don't know if it's him. They got a lot of players on that team, though. It's kind of crazy. But I see them hanging like 30-plus here. And then what's the last one?
Dallas at Carolina. We're looking at that Dallas team total over 27.5.
Yeah. I think that Dallas is a great bully against bad teams. So I think they put up some good numbers here against Carolina, which will help the Bears.
Yeah.
If Carolina starts sneaking a couple and they get that Bears pick down to 4 or 5, that's going to really suck for the Bears. There's a ton of time left, though. All right, and then we got a 3-team parlay.
Nice.
Everybody's still eligible. We're doing our part with that. What do we got?
Bengals at Ravens over 46. Georgia team total over 34.5, and the Eagles +3.
Yeah, there it is. All right, $25 pays $153.09.
Nice.
There we go. We're giving it away to a follower who answers this trivia question. What's your prediction for Monday Night Football?
Okay.
You don't have to be right, but I want to hear what you got. I got Eagles 31-24.
So you want them to guess the score too?
Yeah, just tell me what you think.
Okay.
Just tell me who you think's going to win and give me a score prediction. We'll pick it ahead of time, but it's for bragging rights and to see who's actually listening and paying attention to this show. We have one for our previous guest picker, Kathy Giamatti.
Very nice.
Who's on the leaderboard there at 7-5. We have one for today's guest picker. And, of course, all prior guests will be getting a parlay ticket. The next one coming up is Mr. Brett Weinstein.
Nice.
So next week. So don't worry, Brett. Odds are everyone's going to be eligible after this one. But hopefully we cash this parlay ticket. That's been fun. I've been picking 3 winners a week consistently.
Yeah.
Just not in the parlay.
Not in the parlay. No.
Yeah. And last but not least, Sammy's pick. Sammy's got a winning record.
I'm doing good.
5-4-1 on the season. Yeah, who do we got this week?
We're looking at the Steelers and Browns at Browns. I'm sorry, and I'm going with the Steelers that are at +2 right now.
Yeah, I mean Deshaun Watson, big news. He's out for the year with a shoulder injury. Browns got a great defense though, and they're playing well. The Steelers have done very little to impress me, but I think you might be onto something here.
Okay.
I was convinced you were going to get crushed with that Vikings bet last week. So maybe my faith in you is a little high, and maybe that's not good for you. I don't know. I like the Browns early. I wanted their team total over 19.5, and I was going to take it last night. And then this morning, Deshaun Watson's out, and I'm like, oh, I'm so glad I was lazy.
Yeah.
Just looking up other articles to engage the audience and keep them interested. So I did not take that. But Steelers +2. Let's get you to 6-4, Sammy.
Let's do it.
All right, we got a guest picker. Let's do that. You get a gold sticker when you're the guest picker. All right, we got a guest picker. We got our friend Phil Zubrin. How you doing, Phil?
I'm good. Happy to be here.
Phil, you are a friend of Brett Weinstein's.
Yes, I guess that is my claim to fame here.
We will see him on the leaderboard later. Spoiler alert, not good. Also not good. I heard in 7th grade, Brett and you were trying out for the same basketball team. He got cut before you?
Yeah, sure did.
Loser. Does that sting him?
Definitely.
Brett, they made me do this. I'm sorry. Sam's got a knife to my back. Poor guy. Phil, you're a Cubs fan?
I am.
You're north side.
As hardcore as can be.
What about Bears? I mean,
As hardcore as can be.
so if you have to rank your allegiances, what is your top Chicago team?
Oh, it's Cubs.
Cubs, then Bears,
Yeah.
and then you do the basketball or the hockey.
Bulls.
Bulls. You do, but no Hawks.
I will watch them occasionally, but
When
I
they
got time for 3 these days.
when they were running that hot streak though, that was
It
a
was
lot of fun.
it was great.
That was
we
a
had,
lot of
we
fun.
had season tickets. It was awesome.
Yeah, the city was electric then, man. It's always fun when a team is lighting it up. Everybody's a little nicer.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, not so much these days with the Bears. They're always like, woo. Yeah. So, and you're also an old wrestling guy like me. WWF before it was WWE.
Once upon a time, yeah.
WCW. We both quit around the same time, a little after the year 2000. So I'm going to hit you with this Fast Five Wrestling Edition. You ready for this?
I'm ready.
All right. These are all.
This will be a good one.
Yeah, it'll be good. There's no wrong answers except for the answers that are not mine. Those are wrong. All right, this one. It's tough right off the bat. Stone Cold Steve Austin or Dwayne The Rock Johnson? Stone Cold or The Rock?
That is a tough one.
That is a tough
No,
one.
it's not.
Sammy's got one.
I was definitely more. I loved them both. Definitely more of a rock guy, though.
All right.
I'm going with The Rock.
Yeah, that's incorrect, both of you.
Of
It
course
is
it is.
Stone Cold. Stone Cold Steve Austin. It's close, but it's Stone Cold. Next one is Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff or Mr. Perfect Kurt Hennig.
I got to go with Mr. Perfect.
Sam?
Kurt Hennig.
A
Sandy,
little bit before I started watching, but I'll go with Mr. Perfect.
I was going to say, do you even know who Paul Orndorff is?
No, that's before I started watching.
Both amazing. Mr. Perfect wins.
The Mr. Perfect Vignettes puts him over the top.
Absolutely. He was so good. Love Kurt Hennig. But I do love me some Paul Orndorff. That was close. Another two that I love. Ravishing Rick Rude or Jake the Snake Roberts. They had a wonderful rivalry where Rude ends up making out with Jake's wife, and it was so horrible.
Wait, this is like off-screen, right?
No, like he was like bringing her in and like shaking his stuff over her. And it was such heat. People don't understand. Like this was the original reality TV where we were like, oh my god, dude, Now they're like, did you see what happened to that show? I'm like, we were watching this in the '80s when it was Macho Man and Hogan hated each other, and Ted DiBiase was throwing money at poor people. It was great. Had no idea. So Rick Rude or Jake the Snake Roberts. This is very tough.
I'm gonna have to go with Jake the Snake.
Sammy?
Jake Snake.
Correct.
Yeah. Oh, there we go.
It's close though.
That's
Rude
very
was so
close.
great. He was so good at cursing out audiences. Oh my lord! But they had that rivalry. Yeah, I was gonna put him next to Piper because Piper was such a good villain too. But I think Piper wins that one too. All right, these were the Ultimate Maniacs. This was a tag team. Do you know who the Ultimate Maniacs were?
It was Warrior and
Yeah.
and Hogan, right?
No, it was Warrior and Macho. So who do you got there? You got Warrior or Macho Man?
It's Macho Man for me.
Sammy?
I'll go with Warrior.
No, it's definitely Macho
I
Man.
don't know.
Warrior had nothing in the ring. He was exhausted by the time he got there. He was a lot of fun. He had a great look. The music was amazing. I would say his music helped put him over so good because that rock coming in and he just goes crazy. But then he was exhausted and he was just kind of jogging around a little bit. It wasn't great for him. And then the last one. This is all WCW royalty. Sting or Lex Luger?
Gotta go Stinger.
Okay.
I'm going Lex Luger.
It's Lex. It's like you were so close. You were so close, Mel. You did pretty good on that.
What was he? Green 2? I wasn't keeping tally.
He knows what he was talking about.
Yeah.
He's batting 600. He's good. All right, we're gonna get into the pick segment right now. All right, Phil, you're a big football guy. You're gonna do well in this.
I hope so.
All right.
I just gotta be better than Brett.
We'll talk about. Well, that's not gonna happen. All right, college football Saturday's games. We got Louisville at Miami. Number 13, Louisville. I'm sorry, number 11, Louisville at Miami, unranked. It's a tough one.
It is a tough one, but I am going to go with Louisville.
Okay.
They just seem to be more consistent.
Miami looks terrible. I don't know why this line is the way it is, so we'll see.
I'll go
with them at home, probably.
Louisville as well.
All right. Utah at Arizona. What do you got, Brett? Phil. Sorry, I'm on Weinstein. I got Weinstein on the brain.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go with Arizona at home.
Okay.
Yeah, I like that. I'll go to Arizona at home.
Funny, I put a beat on too.
Insulting.
All right, Phil, North Carolina, Clemson.
I'm gonna go with North Carolina.
Okay.
Drake May tearing it up.
I'm gonna stick with Clemson.
Okay. Georgia at Tennessee.
Georgia.
Yep. Should be a quick one.
Yeah,
No brainer there.
All right. Kansas State at Kansas.
I'm gonna go Kansas State.
Yeah, Kansas State.
Yep, I agree. I think Kansas has done it like they're a walk-on quarterback. Washington, number 5, Washington Huskies at the number 12, Oregon State.
I'm gonna go with the upset here with Oregon State at home.
Okay.
I'll
Give
take-
Washington their first loss.
I'm going with Washington.
Yeah, I'm going Washington too. So I took Louisville. Utah, Clemson, Georgia, K-State, and Washington. Let's go to the NFL. Thursday night game. This is a tough one. Bengals at Ravens. Who do you got, Phil?
Ravens. Not tough at all.
I'm liking the Bengals.
I don't know. The Bengals just they have to win, and
They
the
have
Ravens.
to win, but they're just bad.
But the Ravens just invent new ways to lose at the end.
They do try their best.
We're going to start off hot on Thursday, Sam. We got it, right?
Yeah,
Now, let's
for
get
sure.
into Sunday. Steelers at Browns.
I'm going Steelers.
Yeah, I gotta go with
With
Steelers.
Yeah.
Today's news. They don't play sexy football, but
No, with the
No turnovers.
Yeah. I took the Browns earlier. I'm going to stick with it. And I got the Ravens too. Bears at Lions, Phil.
this.
Are you a Bears fan? Are you really a Bears fan? Then you should know.
Sam knows I'm like the most optimistic Chicago sports fan.
Justin Fields is playing.
out there. I know he's playing, but I'm gonna go with the Lions at home in the David Montgomery revenge
He
game.
is going to tear him
He's
up.
gonna tear him up for.
Yeah.
I want to say he's gonna have at least 2. But
Yeah.
No, I gotta go with Lions.
Yeah. Lions is my answer, sadly. Chargers at Packers. What do you got, Phil?
I'm gonna go Chargers.
Yeah.
Packers just very inconsistent.
I like that. I like the Chargers.
Yeah, I like Chargers too. Yeah, the Packers are a shoe-in.
Even if Keenan Allen doesn't play, I think the Chargers still edge it out.
The Chargers is another team that they got to figure something out. Vikings at Broncos. It's a Sunday nighter.
I don't know how the Vikings keep winning.
Yeah,
Dobbs fits in perfectly with them.
Yeah.
And I think Jefferson comes back on Sunday, so I'm gonna stick with them on the road
wow.
on Sunday night.
All right,
Yeah, I'll stick with the Vikings. They've been good to me.
Sammy's pick, and he nailed it. I thought you were really off on that one. I took the Broncos on that. They just seem to be turning it around. Eagles at Chiefs. The Super Bowl rematch. It's going to be good, man. Monday Night Football. Who do you like, Phil?
I think it's gonna be an Eagles blowout.
What do you like,
I'm
Sammy?
looking at the Eagles. I like it too.
I agree. I think the Eagles are going to come in and stomp them. But we'll see.
Keep Travis Kelce at bay, and they should be real easy.
I'm talking too much about this.
Yeah, you can't stop talking about it.
Yeah. Well, that's some good picks, man. Let's see the leaderboard here. See our old pal. Where is it, Sam?
I haven't know.
Right here.
Yep.
So this is the bottom of the leaderboard. Phaedra, these people are unfortunately out of it. We have a 3-way tie in the front. We'll show you, but Faye's fantastic, fantastic. Dave probably wins the costume contest here.
No question.
No offense to anyone else. I mean,
Faye might get upset about that, but you're right.
what did I say, Dave? I meant Faye. Faye wins. And then Stone Cold Weinstein here. Come on, that is a fantastic picture. But terrible picks by Mr. Weinstein.
Yeah.
And he really showed up prepared. It just shows you, like,
Looks so professional too.
Yeah.
It didn't work.
yeah, I know. And then eating the spicy wings, showing us up,
Yeah.
and then just
The tanks and the pigs.
didn't have a great day. And here's the leaderboard.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a good looking crew right here. Starting at the tie, but the bottom of this because you and I beat her and we got the smug face. That's Kathy Giametti at 7-5. The incomparable Kitty Keeley at 7-5. And Mr. Jordan Kaplan is still holding tough. Our first picker.
Yeah.
Look at that guy.
Wow.
And you know, Jordan is loving this right now.
Yeah.
You know, he is just absolutely loving being at the top of that. So the number to beat is 8.
Let's get it.
I mean, or you can get in the 4-way tie. We'll have, lots of pickers coming in. You're the second to last, and then we got Randy coming in next week. It's going to be interesting. All right. Well, that was a lot. Are you getting hungry?
I am.
Sam, you getting hungry?
Always.
Let's do this.
Is this Game day food?
Guys, it's time for everybody's favorite food segment. Is this game day food? Sammy, what do we have today?
Well, we've got the Shake Shack Spicy Shackmeister Burger.
That's a mouthful there.
There's a lot, yeah.
All right. Phil, do the honors as our guest picker. Let's see what you like there.
Show it off a little
Yeah.
bit.
Let's put a picture there. And here we go.
Looks a little messy.
Yeah.
A little bit, but
It's a little light. A little light here. I like Shake Shack, though.
They do offer a double.
never had Shake Shack.
It's pretty good.
It's actually my first time getting Shake Shack too.
Yeah. It's better if you eat it at the restaurant, hot off the grill. But we'll see what kind of spice they put in there. I'm gonna give it a whiff here, because you can tell if it's overpowering with that spice right away. All right. I think he's tipping his hand a little bit here.
He got kind of deep in thought in that one.
Yeah.
I think the flavor should up.
All right. I think I got it. Let's see what
Are we guessing now, or are we going to keep moving
Yeah,
on?
you go, Sammy. What do you think? What do you think?
I think you
Phil?
liked it. I'm putting him at a 7.7.
Okay, I got him at a 7.3.
Okay.
Phil?
He had that look in his eye like, oh.
He did. He was giving a good nod. Phil, what do you got there?
Got a 6.8.
Oh, okay.
I was expecting it to be a little bit spicier. to be
Okay.
honest.
All right.
Fair.
Are you a fan of the spicy?
I am a fan of the spicy.
All right, Sammy, get in there. Let's see how you're doing.
Definitely. Like you said, it is a little bit lighter. Maybe next time I'll go for the double if I get it again.
So you guys are new to Shake Shack. I'm a big Shake Shack guy. They're very good. One thing I didn't like, there was a guy checking me out the last time I was in there, and nobody was with him. And I go, do I go to you and you ring me up, or do I go to the kiosk? You go to the kiosk. I'm like, all right. And then there's a tip option, and I'm like, that's annoying. And then the guy behind me, he helped. He's like, what can I help you with? I'm like, oh. And then I had to do the guilt tip. Because I'm like, I don't know what they'll do if they see no tip on there. All right. But Sammy's he's a burger guy. I know what he's got. All right. What do you think you get? What do you think you made it? Got it. That's Phil.
I got him at a 7.2.
Yeah, I got him at a 7.1. I think you liked it.
It was a 6.7.
Oh, man.
It was right. It was good. I guess maybe just a little bit more excited for that.
Go on in while you describe it. Uh-huh.
Just it had some good flavor to it, but I wasn't like, oh my god, this is amazing.
Yeah, I think for me, it's the flavor is up there, but the disappointment in the spice is what knocked it down.
Nothing like in your face.
Right.
And you got singles here. So
Yes, they do make doubles.
we're not paying you enough.
That is true. James is a bit of a stone face, Phil. So
Now,
hard to read.
I think a double. I would have gotten a double. I'm going to adjust for what I've gotten. So assume this is a double for my score.
All right, go ahead, Phil. What do you think he got?
I got him at a 6.5.
Okay, he said earlier he's a big Shake Shack fan, so I think he's a little bit reminiscing. I'm putting 7.2.
Damn good. 7.3.
Yeah.
And honestly, the more I'm digging it, the more I'm like jacking that score up. This is very good.
It's, I mean, to me, it's still game day food.
Yeah. It is.
Oh, I'd absolutely eat this.
Yeah. All right. So this qualifies. 6.4 or higher is game day food.
Oh,
I got a thumbs up. Phil, thumbs up. Sammy,
you know it.
Sammy, you brought dessert. Let's try that.
All right.
All right, buddy. Let's wash this down with a little. We got some milkshakes here.
Mm-hmm.
These are what the troll for the Trolls movie.
Yeah, but it's inspired by the Troll movie. All the flavors are Troll flavor, apparently.
Yeah. So you got 3 of them.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna try them. We're gonna score them, but there's no contest here. We just want to see if they're any good. Phil, take one. What do you think here?
Mystery.
Yeah, I mean, look at the top of that one. They're very colorful.
That one. I'm gonna go with this.
Yeah.
This green.
Sammy, treat yourself. And
I
then,
gotta go for that baby blue one.
yeah, and then so what does Phil have?
Phil, looks like you have
The green one.
The green one.
You've got the Branches chocolate peppermint,
Okay.
and then James. Well, wait. So we'll give yours a shot, and we'll see how you're liking it.
What do I have and what do you have?
James, you've got the Viva's cinnamon roll, and
Okay.
it looks like I got the Poppy's sugar cookie.
Yeah, I would have bought the coffee sugar cookie, you son of a bitch.
I haven't taken a taste yet.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
All right.
All right.
Well, there's like chunks in it, like weird chunks.
Looks like you had cotton candy.
I think so. Yeah.
This is.
My answer's a little skewed. Because I have been trying to watch my weight a little bit lately, so anything I get that's awful for me, I just love. The Shake Shack burger I've had before, And I had like a pizza for lunch that day, and it was still delicious. So I'm good with my score on this. We can just give our scores. What do you What do you give you? What do you give this?
I'm giving this a 9.
9.
This is
Wow.
this is a great dessert.
You know, and I'm a chocolate guy. That's the one I wanted, but I'm
I'm a big chocolate guy too, so this definitely,
If there's like peppermint.
yeah.
that's definitely. There's a nice hint, not overpowering.
Okay, because if it's overpowering, it ruins it.
That's one of my mom's favorite flavors. Ma, I know you're watching. Definitely try it. I got a 9 from Phil over here.
What is this again?
That's the cinnamon roll.
Yeah,
Got some cinnamon. in
yeah.
there.
There's definitely some cinnamon in there. The second chug I had of it, I liked it better. I'm not the biggest on cinnamon roll. I'm giving this a 6-7. I like it, but I would probably do better with the one I wanted.
Yeah. Well, here's the weird thing. Like the sugar cookie is good, but I'm going at 7.1 because of the chunks in it. I don't know what they are, but I'm just not a huge fan of chunky shakes.
Yeah, yeah. They have at Portillo's. They have like a chocolate cake shake, and it's just they
Oh,
put
that's very
cake at the
chunky,
bottom of
yeah.
it.
At least they're soft. These are like hard chocolate.
Yeah.
But yeah.
All
Come
right.
on.
So Phil wins. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank
Good
you.
pick.
The guest got the best pick. All right. So I guess these are game day shakes. Thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
I'd do it again. I'd probably just get a different flavor. Maybe if someone knew how to order double burgers and proper shakes.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Phil, you co-host at all? Just kidding, Sammy. You're not fired yet. All right. Is this game day food? All right, Sammy, let's enjoy our shakes and talk about what else is in the news. Sammy, what else is in the news?
You know, we always keep it light. The family that was the subject of the 2023 Netflix documentary Take Care of Maya was awarded $261 million in damages from a Florida hospital.
Yeah, so they probably didn't do much wrong.
Oh.
$261 million.
Oh,
I'm not spoiling what it is, but Take Care of Maya was a documentary. Came out a couple months ago. I watched it. It was hard to watch. It was shocking. It's worth watching. There's more coming out. But the hospital, they said, was grossly negligent. The court system was worse, in my opinion. What happened? I mean, you can blame like a hospital for being overzealous and taking care of a kid. But then you take it to the courts and you say, look, this hospital is trying to take our kid away from us. And the courts are like, yeah, like that's fine. Like people in the know, people that should have been better judges on stuff like this really failed this family. It's worth watching. The hospitals are a very scary place. You know, you want to go in there and get help and get out of there, but they're a big business. They charge you everything they can. You become a number. And if you get the wrong person, if you get on the wrong side of the wrong person, it could be catastrophic like it was for this family.
you know, I'm that kind of guy. Like, if a doctor tells me something, I'm like, oh, yeah, he's looking out for me. And you never know.
You never know.
He could be having a bad day.
I mean, listen, I grew up in Catholic school. Don't trust anybody. Listen to the Father. He is on your side. He'll do whatever, you know. He is definitely has your best interests. You can't trust anybody. I was in high school when the whole like scandals came out about the priests and everything. And it you know, it doesn't grizzle you, but it certainly makes you hyper aware that you really can't trust many people. Yeah. So, in hospitals, man, God bless them. I mean, we're lucky we have them. We have a fairly good, system, but it just becomes so corrupted. And this is a real nasty case of this. I think you should watch it. More is coming out on this story, and we'll talk about it later. But yeah, rough. Well, let's talk about something a little cheerier. What else?
Yeah, let's make it a little bit better. Another Netflix documentary, Get Gotti, claims that a young Brooke Shields slipped John Gotti her phone number at a club in the late 1980s.
All right. Not exactly cheerier. I mean, it's the mafia.
Everyone loves the mafia.
Yeah, and that's the problem. And that's the point I wanted to get to. Like, we all love mafia movies. Are you a big Sopranos fan?
I haven't watched it all yet.
Wow.
I'm like Brett, I'm behind on stuff.
Spoiler alert, it's not coming back.
I expect that.
They're not doing an extra season.
I
He's waiting for-
didn't have HBO for a long time.
Do you like mob movies? You like Goodfellas?
Oh,
You like
yeah.
Casino?
Absolutely.
I mean, there's an obsession with it. We're like, yeah, they're kind of awesome and they're kind of terrible. They're they're more than kind of terrible.
They're terrible people.
Yeah, but this
It's
is
great entertainment.
It is. It is. Like, there were some interesting things in there, though. There were, they kind of all lived in this one community, and all the old ladies are coming out and going, "This is the safest community around," and I believe that's true. Mm-hmm. There were certain places you just didn't go and cause trouble, but the downside of that is, I'm sure the guy just trying to keep food on his table that owns the convenience store is shook down every week. He's got to pay the tax and all this stuff. But there was no car break-ins or mugging old ladies in the street. Like that would be fixed real quick. So and you don't see that in Southside gangland here. It's not. They're not like, we love it here.
Definitely not.
I can't wait to never leave. So there is some upside to a little bit of that protection, especially if you're Italian and live in those neighborhoods and you're an old woman or an old man. I think they probably helped you out a little bit and didn't menace you as much. But I don't know. What do you think? Do you think Brooke Shields was sweating the Don? He was probably 24 at this time, and he was 46.
Probably just a good career move.
Yeah, I don't know.
He was basically a celebrity.
He was a celebrity. He was a celebrity. They were saying that he would go to the clubs all the time, and all these celebrities would just be sidling him the whole time,
really?
Including David Bowie, who we know.
Wow.
Anthony Quinn, who Sammy probably does not know. No.
Who?
Mickey Rourke. You know Mickey?
I knew Mickey, yeah.
Okay.
Some of the wrestlers.
John Amos. Sam, do you know John Amos?
No, is he related to John Stamos?
No, yeah. That's how last names go. You just trudge. You know who John Amos is? Or Anthony Quinn?
Anthony Quinn, I know the name.
He's an old actor. He had a son, Aiden Quinn. He was in a lot of things. John Amos was in Good Times. He was the dad on Good Times, and he was also Mr. McDowell in Coming to America.
Oh, okay.
Everybody knows that.
Yeah.
Everybody knows that.
He was great.
And then, of course, the aforementioned Brooke Shields. But yeah, they were all like, yeah, he's really cool. John Gotti's really cool.
Terrible human being.
This guy just murdered people for insults.
All these celebrities are like, oh, I like your work. And then you get John Gotti. Yeah, I'm really a fan of your work.
Yeah. I love, oh my God, that was a beautiful hit last weekend. Congratulations.
Very classy.
But I'm not spoiling it for anybody. I this is worth watching. I give this a 7.2. It's worth watching. But he was kind of the bad boy of the mob. He was kind of a captain or something like that. And the main guy, Paul Castellano, was the boss. And Paul Castellano had this rule, kind of like in Goodfellas, where the old school guy said, if you get caught selling drugs, you're done. And the younger guys didn't like that because they were making a ton of money selling drugs. John Gotti being one of them. He had a nice little heroin business. Again, a real sweetheart, this guy. Just a little side heroin hustle. So Paul Castellano gets wind of this. They didn't like each other. People didn't like Paul Castellano because they thought he was a greedy miser, and he raised the tax on his guys from 10 to 15% in the 80s, and people were ticked off. So, but you can't kill the boss, right?
Yeah.
So Castellano gets sick of Gotti, and he says, I'm going to kill him, but after Christmas. Because, again, nice guy. That's another nice guy.
That's thoughtful.
He's like, let him have one more Christmas with his family, and then the 26th, right in the head.
That's amazing how they think like that.
Yeah. So then Gotti finds out, because, again, there was an untrustworthy mafia member who got a little chirpy, and he finds out after Christmas, Castellano's got the hit on you. So he goes, oh, okay. Well, we'll just kill him on December 16th. And he did. He killed the boss and the underboss, consigliere, whatever you want to call it, outside of a steak restaurant in New York City, December 16th, 1985, about 10 days before he was about to be murdered.
Jesus.
I got to give him credit.
He's looking out for
It's a good strike. But that, stuff like that, the other bosses are like, no, we're not setting that precedent. But I guess people were a little bit sick of Castellano because of, his greedy stuff. This is not in the documentary, most of it. I looked all this up, so I'm doing the research. You don't have to do, America. Nice. But they were a little sick of him because he was taxing them and everything. But they also found out that he had an affair with his Colombian maid. And they were like, well, where was it at? And they're like, at his house. And they're like, that's not cool. They have all these insults. They're like, you can do it outside your house, but inside your house is disrespectful to your wife.
I love how they have standards.
Yeah, I'm like, they're both disrespectful to your wife.
Yeah.
But so that was a knock on him. But the big thing was he had like diabetes, and he became impotent because of like a diabetes related issue. So he went in the 1980s and got a penile implant, which
I didn't know that was a thing.
I don't. Oh yeah, I've heard of them. I think John Bobbitt got one after
I mean, I get that.
Lorraine
I
and Bobbitt.
guess, yeah.
But I guess again, like the medicine, they're like, this is safe. So he got this penile implant, and it was described. I guess it was in some book or something, but I got it off the internet, so it has to be true. Described as quote unquote a device that, when unfolded.
Like it's a transformer penis.
Well, is it like this, like levels? Like is his penis like wound up? And then so a device that, when unfolded, would give him a mechanical erection. Another great band name, Mechanical Erection.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then it says the implant telescoped inside him. Like a mechanical car antenna. Yeah.
How is this not like more well known?
That but when they found that out, they were like, he's done.
That was it.
They were like, our boss needs to have hard natural erections.
You better have a working
Not
penis.
none of these folded up mechanical ones that are like a car antennas. I won't respect it. That's where I draw the lines.
Strict rules.
Strict rules. Strict rules. So that didn't. So they were like, they're like, you don't kill a boss, and they're like, he's got a mechanical erection. They're like, all right, do it. Just I don't want to hear about it. Get it done before Christmas. I'm having a big party at my house.
Get rid of that mechanical erection.
Yeah. So yeah, that did him in. Sorry,
Wow.
sorry, Mr. Castellano. I hope like the mob doesn't get mad at us. That would be bad.
Maybe our father.
Bill wrote this part. Bill, what's your address? Just for. All right, and Sammy, what's last?
All right. A museum and library for nudists is being planned to open in Miami, Florida.
Yeah, yeah. So that's something I thought you would like.
You know what? The fact that it's in Miami, Florida, though, doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Great
All
place
nudists,
for
they
it.
all go to Florida.
No. I had to look into this. So you know about him, Phil.
I do know about
You know his propensity to not be enclosed.
I've invited him several times to the nudist camp. He just keeps turning it down.
Yeah, yeah.
Always busy.
Yeah, I know. We have the same
I
schedule.
can't believe
It's
it.
just a bunch of bros hanging out naked. What's the big deal?
Yeah, and you're the youngest one by a lot. Like, by a lot.
A couple decades.
Believe it.
Yeah. So the nonprofit Beaches, which is an acronym for Beaches Education Advocates for Culture, Health, Environment, and Safety. That's like, that's not natural. You just did beaches, and then you're like, what's a bee? Oh, beaches. Okay, and then what? We got that one. That's good. That's a bad acronym. They should have done. I had some other one. Butts. Just figure out. But B could be beaches. Jennies. Short for genitals.
Okay. With a
Yeah.
G. Yeah, you put it
Yeah.
with a G.
Tip burn. Stuff like that.
Tipper.
How do you handle tip burn, Sam?
Oh, it's the same way you handle any burn, just a lot of aloe.
I know, but if you're aloeing that up, I mean you're
Well,
pretty
there's
much
a point
done.
when you're over aloeing.
You're done for the day.
Yeah.
You gotta aloe up, take a nap, then re-aloe. It seems like a whole thing.
It is. You know, that's why you got to make sure you're getting your SPF when you're out there.
Yeah,
Get one of those mechanical penises and don't gotta worry about it.
that's
Oh,
right. Back, see it. That's a callback right there.
Yes.
Let's go back to that. If you had an ailment like that, and they're like, we have a new system for you, are you interested? I think I'd just hang it up.
Yeah, I
Call it a day.
don't know. It could be a good party favor. Like, hey guys,
Yeah.
take a look at this.
Again, Phil and I don't go to these parties though. Like we don't go to the pull it out parties.
Especially if it's in a remote. And
Yeah, I was gonna say pass the remote around for
There we go.
everybody.
That's true. That's a real friend right there. I'm going with no. Like unless my wife was like, yeah, you got to do this, I'd be like, all right. But I don't.
So noble of you.
Well, here's the thing. I think he's doing it just so like he doesn't get murdered by other mob henchmen. You know, he's like,
You gonna murder me? Check this out. You know, you don't murder a guy with a brazool going like that. You know, whatever they call it.
So I don't think he's having like any fun with that. I think it's more of like for his machismo.
Yeah,
If you got to unfold it and crank it like an antenna.
that's awkward. I mean, imagine like getting in the mood with a girl, like, hey, just give me a second.
Yeah,
She's
yeah,
gonna
yeah.
watch you do that.
Yeah, yeah.
There's no way she's gonna want to keep going after that.
And he was in his like 60s when this happened, so
Yeah.
it's not a good look to begin with.
No.
And then he's like, "Hold on, let me handle this mechanical thing." So this would be the second nudist library in North America. There's another one
Really?
in Oshkosh, Wisconsin.
Oh, that's local.
Yeah, Naturist Education Foundation Library. I think you should go remote there.
I can.
Sam.
You know, we want me to go film a segment up there.
Yeah,
Let us know how it
bring
is.
somebody with. Let us know. Let
Come
me
on,
and Phil
let's
know.
do a road trip.
You can go up there and do whatever.
I'll keep my clothes on for the car, Phil.
They said they have these libraries at nudist colonies, though. Have you seen a library there?
No,
Is there a lot of reading at
I
these
don't
things?
see a lot of reading at these nudist camps. No.
It's one of these things where is there a need for this? I mean, do you want to educate people? I don't think there needs a lot of education on this.
I feel like the education of nudism lasts 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Right? Like there's not a whole
If
lot of
that,
history
what do
to
you-
it.
You're either in or you're out.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the beginning there were no clothes. Then people decided this is weird, and they put on clothes, and then people started taking them off later on in life.
Unless there's like this unwritten or unknown history, like Winston Churchill used to be a nudist, then I'd be cool with reading about that stuff. But just don't think that exists.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's a few, but they keep it to themselves to not embarrass their mothers. Sorry, Mrs. Schaefer. All right, this has been another great episode of the Points Taken podcast. See, we started real gross in that, really dark in the beginning of that. And chilled it down.
Lightened it up, brought it
It,
back.
it was worth drinking a shake at that part, and not like, oh my God, medical malpractice, a family's tragedy. And then we get around to is there reading? Not a lot of reading. Not a lot of. You don't want to be in like a building with naked people. Like the good part about Naturist is everything gets aired out a little bit outside.
Yeah.
You know, a library already kind of has an odor to it. So, and on that point, anything else to add? Bill, thanks for coming out. We appreciate you.
Yeah.
No problem.
Thank you so
Thanks
much.
for having me.
Everybody follow us on X at Points Taken Pod, on Instagram at Points Taken Pod, and we will see you on Tuesday to reveal all that money we made on those parlays for sure.
Let's get it.
Absolutely. See you then.